Coming up on St. George News at 5, an 18-year-old local man now faces a third felony in 3 months after a police raid uncovered drugs and firearms. And Utah Tech University celebrates the opening of its massive new business building that's already reshaping the student experience.
Plus, we'll have your daily weather forecast and more coming up.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. An 18-year-old St. George man is facing a third felony case in just 3 months, linked to gang activity and drug distribution. Alexander Paredes Montenegro was arrested following a police raid that uncovered THC vape devices, psilocybin mushrooms, and firearms, and he remains in custody awaiting a court hearing next week. Utah Tech University has unveiled its new 120,000 square foot Udvar Hazy business building, providing classrooms, offices, and collaborative learning spaces for students and faculty. Nick Fiala takes a closer look at how this building is bringing multiple departments together and shaping the student experience.
Utah Tech University recently held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the campus's brand-new classroom building. Shane Smead, the university president, spoke on the meaning of the ceremony.
It's amazing to think that 300 and some classes being taught here this fall. And the ribbon cutting is really more than just a ceremonial event that takes place and something we'll remember, but also it's a time for us to think about all of the countless stories that are going to be told in this building and around campus and in these classrooms.
Devin McDonald, vice chairman of the university's board, said the building represents a powerful investment.
This building is a testament to our belief that education is a powerful force for good. And through our continued investment in our campus, we're investing in the very fabric of our society.
For more on the ceremony, read the story.
Now we'll take a look at your daily weather forecast, brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino.
In St. George, today's high will reach 81, perfect for getting outdoors or enjoying some errands in the sunshine. Tonight, temperatures drop to 52 with clear skies. Tuesday looks just as nice, with highs in the low 80s and more sunshine throughout the day. In Mesquite, highs today will climb to about 85, and like St. George, expect clear, cool evenings near 59. Tuesday continues the trend with plenty of sunshine and similar highs of about 89. Up in Cedar City, we'll see highs around 66, with those cooler mountain evenings dropping to 36. Expect a slight warming trend on Tuesday, with clear skies sticking around and a high of about 73. Across the region, clear skies and warm afternoons with cool nights make for a perfect fall couple of days. Don't forget a light jacket in the mornings and evenings, especially if you're heading up to Cedar City.
Let's check in with Aaron Crane for your local sports update.
Thanks, Monica. Friday night brought big wins and exciting moments for Southern Utah high school football teams across the region. The Crimson Cliffs Mustangs are one win away from a third straight Region 9 football championship after a 35-7 victory over Dixie Friday night, led by 4 touchdowns from Tanawai and Drayson. Pineview stayed in the title hunt with a 23-16 win over Desert Hills, while Hurricanes celebrated senior night with a 38-24 comeback over Snow Canyon, staking their claim for a home playoff game this October. Cedar High stayed undefeated Friday night with a 35-14 win over crosstown rival Canyon View in the annual Coal Creek Classic. The game's turning point came early in the fourth quarter, with senior Madden Persons deflected a pass to sophomore junior Tonguai Bloomfield, who ran it back 95 yards for a pick six that put the Reds in control. Cedar improves to 8-0 and will face Juab next weekend, while Canyon View drops to 4-4.
Runners set new course records in both the men's and women's races at the 49th St. George Marathon on Saturday, with Jake Heslington and Cody Clevin taking top honors. Eric George Gould has a look at the record-breaking finishes and the thousands of runners and fans who turned out for perfect marathon conditions.
Runners in the 49th St. George Marathon began pouring across the finish line at Vernon Worthen Park shortly after 9:30 on Saturday morning. Here's what it sounded like during the photo finish of the men's elite race, won by Jake Henslington. Shortly after that, female top finisher Cody Clevin set a new course record with her blazing run in St. George. Some 8,000 race participants started their journey at the Dixie Convention Center on Friday, where they collected their bibs. Then on Saturday, morning racers started the competition shortly after 7 a.m., running out of center and heading 26.2 miles to downtown St. George for the finish. Most runners agreed that while it might have been a little chilly in the morning, things warmed up as the race went on, and conditions were ideal. To see what the winners had to say, read the story. This is Eric George Gould reporting for St. George News.
Radio host Mike Foley, with personal ties to the Michigan Latter-day Saints Meeting House shooting, is calling for unity and compassion in the wake of recent tragedies. We sat down with Mikey in the Canyon Media studios for a conversation. His message urges communities to focus on empathy, tolerance, and coming together rather than letting violence and politics drive division. Recent tragedies have gained national attention, including the deadly shooting at a church in Michigan. That church shooting left 4 people dead, 8 wounded, and several others injured. Here in southern Utah, that tragedy hit close to home. Canyon Media radio host Mikey Foley has a personal connection to the Michigan shooting and shared his thoughts with me in his radio studio. Tell me about what was going through your mind this weekend.
Okay, well, I was just kind of wasting time on, Instagram like we all do. And I just saw a headline that an LDS church was attacked, and my first thought was, well, it's probably in Utah, because that's where the highest concentration of them are. And then I saw Michigan, and I thought, oh no. And then I saw Grand Blanc, and then, my heart just sank, because that's where I'm from. That was my building, you know what I mean? And in Michigan, when you're LDS in Michigan, you have like 2 buildings. Yes. And so when it was Michigan, well, of course it's either the Stake Center or the Ward building, and it was my Stake Center that I grew up in and went to church dances in and all that stuff. And it's surreal. It's weird to see something that horrible happening in such a place that I've always considered to be such a peaceful place. I called my dad almost immediately. Now your dad is very embedded in that community still. Yes, he's the guy who actually dedicated that building when it was built in 1983. He was in the stake presidency and stuff. So that stake center was like his second home. Like he was there a lot. And so he knows everybody and their kids. And when you saw what was happening, and I think you probably heard people tell you firsthand the experiences that happened, from your understanding, how did it all go down? Well, I was looking at, Facebook is the next step, is just looking at all my friends and looking for that, cliched marked safe from, kind of a thing. From what I understand, luckily within 30 seconds of the 911 call, there was a cop. How is that? That alone right there is amazing. That's, I'm not a miracle guy. I'm really not. But that's something. Because I've been in that area, and it's not like there's cops all over the place. For a cop to be there at that time, that quickly, that is some serious coincidence there. That is major, major luck, or you can call it something else if you're a person of faith. But holy moly. Yeah, so the Charlie Kirk thing happens in Utah. We find out the suspect is, very close by here in town. That hits close to home. And then this happens at my old building that I grew up in Michigan. And it just... Are they connected? We don't know. I don't know what the motive was. These are deranged people who derange things, and there's no reason. If we go eye for an eye, It's just going to be eye for an eye for an eye for an eye for an eye. I hope that this is an opportunity for people to turn the other cheek.
Couldn't agree more.
Which is so hard to do. It's really, really hard to do.
They stop the train.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at these news reports and I'm seeing people hugging in the parking lot, and I'm like, well, there's Sister Lichtenberg. Like I know these people.
You see your people.
It's really hard, and you get very defensive and you get very upset, but at the same time you go, would this be something that Jesus would want us to do? And the fact of the matter is that this is an awful thing that happened, but no amount of revenge is going to make it any better. It's only going to make things worse. And to have some kind of victim mentality of, see, I told you everybody hates Mormons. No, stop. Just stop. This is an opportunity to practice what we preach and to really, just be a better example of what to do with something like this. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts when people are like, well, these people did it. You go, no, one person
Precisely.
did that. And no amount of internet trolls who agree with that one person means that we're somehow in a war of some type. No, it's not real. It's like the war on Christmas. It's not real. It's not real. Just chill out. I want us all to be able to just look at each other and go, I don't care where you go to church. I don't care who you're in love with. I don't care what's going. We're all in this together. We're all on earth. We all leave earth. Let's just stay here as long as we can and get along.
How do you see that this is going to maybe affect the way people go to church?
I think people are going to be looking over their shoulder for a little while, which is normal. I mean, it's that way after a school shooting too. Going to school is scary. Going to the grocery store is scary. Going everywhere is scary because this is what we're at. This is where we're at. When I was seeing all of this unfold, at one point it is jarring, but sadly, it's not surprising.
And that's the saddest thing.
It should be surprising. It's not surprising. It keeps happening. This is a uniquely American problem that just keeps happening and happening and happening. And if we don't have people setting a good example to neutralize the violence instead of using these things for any kind of political advantage.
Propaganda, yes.
If we just have Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, thank you. Yeah. She has been very good example of saying, no, we're all Michiganders here. This stinks. We mourn for everybody here. This isn't a sides thing. This is somebody who did something terrible, and as long as we don't give in to the temptation to get tribal about it, we have a chance. But the minute somebody looks at it and goes, I bet I can really further my cause if I can make these people really mad about it. And no, turn the other cheek as hard as it is. It's the only way out. It's the only way out.
So the interesting and fun part about your career is that you provide entertainment to everybody on the airwaves, and everybody loves the jokes you bring and the lightheartedness and kind of just the crack in the regular day.
Yeah.
But you're still human, and you go through what you had to go through this weekend.
Yeah.
How was Monday coming in and just being like, and now I got to do my morning show as if nothing has happened?
Well, kind of like I was saying before, sadly, I've got a lot of practice. There's a lot of tragedies that happen constantly, all the time. None of them make sense. And I have to make that decision in the morning because really my job, my wife's job, the Mikey and the Mrs. Show's job is to make people happy on their way to work or on their way to school. Yep. That's it. I want to make sure that they have a couple of giggles while they're on their way to a job they probably hate. And so if I get on the air and I'm crying, I don't think it really helps. And so I have
maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, whether it's an election or whether it's whatever, there's so many minefields all over the place.
Yeah.
And luckily, this isn't a news news show. No. This is, if I have a choice to talk about me being absolutely terrified over the weekend and how senseless it is and all of that stuff, or I can do a news story about how a guy just got into the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's longest fingernails, I'm going with the fingernails. Because there's plenty of outlets for all the bad news.
Very true.
So we want to keep it as light and giddy as possible, because it used to be that a tragedy like this was a very special episode. You know, it was very different. Yeah. It's not now. It's almost every week. So it's all the time. So I would be saying the same thing over and over again every single time. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change unless we change it.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more local news updates. And if you liked this newscast, you might enjoy one of these stories right here.